Right now at 6, a no-win situation.
I understand totally. I don't want to be here either, you know? I hate being out here.
Why Portland's sweep of a notorious homeless camp seems to have hit a roadblock. And a week of winter storms by the numbers. How our recent weather broke records. Plus,
today we woke up and was like, this is the day almost like I was going on vacation.
recovering from the flames. A hard-hit center for Portland food and culture, now back open again.
Thanks for joining us. I'm David Mulco. We begin tonight with that update surrounding the Portland Mercato after a fire torched a building and disrupted livelihoods. Tonight, a resurgence with people and business returning to the popular food cart pod and community hub for the first time in weeks. Sydney Dorger joins us live tonight at the Mercato in Southeast Portland. Sydney, it sounds like people are really thrilled to be back.
David, Portland Mercato is more than just a group of food carts, but a center for Latino culture here in the Rose City. Vendors I spoke with say lost both power and water during that fire, so they're starting back from ground zero. The 6 food carts are an initiative by the nonprofit Hacienda CDC, which is Latino-led. Following the fire, the group started the Portland Mercato Fire Relief Fund to help with the recovery. All of the money will go towards rebuilding damages from the fire. Meanwhile, the food carts reopened to the public today. Angeline Jurgen says she's been eating at the Portland Mercato for 6 years. She says her heart sank when she saw the news of the fire and was eager to show support.
I got diagnosed with celiac about 7 years ago. It's been hard to find a good taco place that doesn't have burritos on the grill. And this is one place that doesn't have flour tortillas.
The Portland Mercato offers a variety of food from Latin America. Vendors say stopping by and supporting them right now can really help. If you're interested in donating, you can do so until January 3rd. All the money will go towards rebuilding indoor seating, but until then, the food carts are takeout only. Sydney Dorner, KGW News. Back to you, David.
Yeah, they need our business now more than ever. Thank you, Sydney. Let's get to your headlines this evening. People who once camped along Portland's Northeast 33rd Drive have moved a few miles away after the city cleared dozens of RVs. This is the view at Northeast 17th Avenue off Columbia. Neighbors say they are already seeing problems. A spokesperson for the city's impact reduction programs tells KGW they've received several reports and camp removal crews will check this out next week.
Okay, they're here, now it's an obstacle for us running our business. It's our livelihoods that we're dealing with right now, so it is concerning every day for us.
I understand totally. I don't want to be here either, you know? I hate being out here.
The city says it moved 57 people from 33rd Drive into shelter. It's also building a sanctioned campsite for people, including those living in RVs about 10 minutes away, though so far there is no opening date. Portland police are investigating a homicide in the Buckman neighborhood. They say it began with a welfare check at the corner of Southeast Water Avenue and Salmon Street around 9:30 last night. When they arrived there, officers found a man who they believe was shot to death. So far, police have not made any arrests or given any details on a suspect. A man who attacked 2 people in downtown Portland, killing one, has now been found guilty except for insanity. Keffer White assaulted 2 men back in June 2022. One of the victims, 82-year-old Donald Pierce, died. Today, a judge ordered White be sent to the Oregon State Hospital. He will go there instead of prison because he suffers from a mental illness. It could be over a year before the man accused murdering 4 University of Idaho students goes to trial. Today, Brian Koberger appeared in court where his defense team asked for that trial to be scheduled for the summer of 2025. Prosecutors are asking for a trial this summer, and while the judge hasn't made a decision, he says he is concerned about more delays because of victims' families.
My heart goes out to the victims. I can't even imagine the pain, the grief, because you can't really go forward with your life without this hanging over your head. So, sorry.
Yeah, the defense says it needs the extra time because of the volume of evidence. Hey, a quick heads up. The Morrison Bridge will be closed this weekend starting tonight at 8 through 5 Monday morning. Kind of hard to make out through the clouds. There are crews of maintenance and cleanup work to do on the bridge's gears. That work will also continue next weekend when the bridge will be closed again, same time frame Friday night through early Monday morning. And from the bridges to the tracks, this just in, Amtrak service is once again disrupted tonight between Portland and Seattle. That's due to some sort of weather-related issue on the tracks. Amtrak expects trains to be suspended through at least Sunday afternoon. The hope, they say, is that service will be back to normal on Monday. Amtrak says it's working to get buses for affected passengers. Ashley?
Yeah, David, we're talking about some really heavy rain showers tonight. Take a look at this radar. This is from the last 3 hours, and you can just see this moisture pouring in over western Oregon, southwest Washington, all the way up into Seattle. That's bringing us over 1/4 of an inch here in Portland, more than that in Hillsborough, and almost double that on the coast. And this is not ending anytime soon. We're definitely going to see these showers all the way through tomorrow morning. But take a look at Pioneer Square right now. The bricks are definitely wet, and we're down to 43 degrees. That's seriously than we saw yesterday. Yesterday we were about 55 degrees here in the metro area, now in the 40s, although we are just a bit warmer on the coast. Going to stick with these warmer temperatures through the weekend as well. You can see we've got a little bit of wind coming out from the east. Well, what's next? We talked about this really heavy rain. It's going to stick with us all the way through Saturday when things start to break up, but it doesn't leave us until Sunday. So prepare, batten down the hatches, and get those raincoats on. We'll talk more about that rain and some heavy fog coming up. David?
Thank you, Ashley. And speaking of the weather, coming up tonight on The Story, a closer look at Multnomah County's decision to close its emergency shelters last week despite ice on streets and sidewalks and temperatures that were still hovering around freezing. Commissioner Sharon Myron, who is also an ER doctor, says she was not happy about the decision, and also she wasn't consulted on the move. The county says it expected the weather to warm up, and when that did not happen, it was too late to reopen the shelters. Myron told Pat Torres the county has made many mistakes and is reluctant to change. For example, she says it's not good at gathering and using volunteers during a crisis.
We just need to give them a place to, we need to give them the place, the support, the resources, and the organization to do the work they want to do to help. And we just haven't provided any of that infrastructure. That's another area.
Well, you can catch the entire conversation at 6:30 with Pat tonight on The Story. Meanwhile, we're also learning more about the scope of the winter storms and what it took to help our region recover. In some places, yes, I know it's still a work in progress. In an update today, ODOT says their workers collectively put in 20,000 hours of overtime. They had 511 reports of hazardous debris on highways and state-maintained roads. Most of that fallen trees, 394, plus 95 landslides and rock falls. ODOT also says it used 2.5 million pounds of salt in the Portland metro alone, and in Region 2, ODOT used a record amount of salt and de-icer for a single storm. Region 2 is the Willamette Valley, the northern Oregon coast, and the Cascades. How about that? Developing this evening, the owners of a family-owned funeral home in Vancouver are trying to assess the damage tonight after it appears a fire sparked in their crematorium. John Adams is in the newsroom tonight. John, what do we know?
Well, David, it's been a really hard day for the owners and staff at Evergreen Memorial Gardens. The family-owned business has been in the Vancouver area for decades. President Lindsay Fisher was able to show us the damage earlier today. Now, Fisher arrived last night and witnessed emergency crews putting out the fire. Because the roof of the structure partially collapsed, they haven't been allowed inside to assess the damage. Fisher told us the fire has had a big impact on her family. They have operated the facility for over 50 years and 4 generations of family members have worked here. She has spent the day reaching out to families who may have been affected.
Our primary focus is the care for the families that have entrusted their loved ones to us. For some, we just don't have answers quite yet, so that's been the answer for a few, in that we're going to be transparent and let them know as soon as we have answers, we will let them know.
Well, Fisher also told us they have been overwhelmed with the outpouring of support from neighbors and members of the community, many who have reached out to help. No one was in the building at the time of the fire and no one was injured. And David, the cause of the fire is still under investigation.
Yeah, well, here's to hoping for answers. Thank you, John. Straight ahead at 6, taking off into an uncertain future as MAX 9s return to the skies. 2 major U.S. airlines now casting doubt about their future when it comes to Boeing. Also looking to the past to protect our present, the lessons experts are learning from a massive Northwest earthquake hundreds of years ago. And increasing tensions at the border, some going as far as saying the Lone Star State is openly defying the Supreme Court. We'll verify why that's not the case. Stay with me.